sort of creepy, like skinny, tall, like image that has sort of popped up in social media, and he kind of is like a Slender Man, which is a creepy sort of 21st century boogeyman, right. You know, and yeah, I don't think we're creating it. I think Stacy and Jonathan, the writer and the director, created it. We're just living it, you know, and freaking out, you know, on camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Carrie-Anne, you've been in some pretty trippy movies, Memento and The Matrix. How psychological and intense was this experience?
Well, for me, probably the most challenging part of the whole process was actually reading the script, because it's pretty scary. My particular role isn't, I don't have to, you know, carry the weight of the movie like he does, and my part, I play a detective, and so I'm really witnessing what's going on, but it wasn't happening to me. So it wasn't really challenging at all for me in that way. It was fun. It was a fun time, but reading it was a challenge. It was scary, yeah, for sure. And I had to think about like, do I want to be in that? Like, it's a scary concept. It's a scary idea. And then I talked to Stacy, who is directing it, and understanding her vision, and understanding her, you know, her husband wrote it. And then you know, for me, it's like, do I want to be part of this experience, right? And I'm often drawn to sort of darker stories, which is interesting if you knew me and you knew my life, and you know how kind of light I can be. But I like good stories, and I like you know, scripts that I actually, you know, you can read a script and kind of like nod off, but the script, there was no nodding off.
What was scary about it?
All of it.
Good answer.
Seriously.
How is this different from, say, demonic possession?
Oh, well, it's more subtle, which I think is the creepier aspect than a straight like drag me to hell, or like a, you know, exorcism or something like that, because it really, they try for so long to just not freak out and not like acknowledge what is happening, because it's really subtle. It's, you know, he gets inside your head and makes you, it's not really possession, because you're sort of hallucinating things. You're seeing your girlfriend and your friend in a different way, and maybe you walk in and you see them like
making you paranoid. It's
like, making you paranoid,
yeah.
and then like it really sort of plays on your own fears, you know. So it's not really a possession. It's more of a, you know, feeling what your fear is and then projecting it onto the world until you really start to, you know, spiral and spiral. And so it's really.
Yeah, I kept thinking in the script, like when I was reading it, like, can he be stronger? Can his mind, because we, you know, in real life, this happens to all of us, right? Where
jealousy can happen,
you know,
and then it can fester.
You start to see things skewed by how a thought you have.
Yeah.
And so this takes that idea that we all live with every day and takes it to this extreme place.
Like if you're afraid of earthquakes or something like that,
yeah.
And then like just the slightest like rumble of a garbage truck will like make you think like the roof is going to cave in or something.
Yeah, I mean the mind is powerful.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool, and sometimes it, you know, depending on what you feed it in terms of information or expose it to, you can kind of go down a slippery slope. We see it all the time. People are losing their minds left, right, and center.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's just very, very relatable in the scariest sense, because it is not an over-the-top demonic possession exorcism with a priest like with the holy water, you know. Exorcism is a great film. I mean, it's a classic, obviously, but it's a little bit more subtle, which is, I think, it's sort of a unique angle.
Right. You know, it seems in today's society we're the epitome of an obsessed culture, aren't we? And we think about this stuff voluntary or involuntary all the time, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and it's like, it is. I don't know. We were talking about this earlier, but I do think the more I thought about it, it is a more social media generation, like you know, up to the date, like you know, update your phone, update your, like, you know, your life, update your, fears, and then you know, it all can sort of fester and explode in an unsafe way.
Yeah, I was watching this reality show last night. I like to watch. It's called The Carbonaro Effect, and it's like magic kind of things happening, and this thing happens to this girl, and the thing that made me really kind of go wow was that when the guy leaves, and so she's sort of left with dealing with, like, I forget even what happened, but she instantly got her phone to, like, I don't know, Snapchat or whatever, I don't know, you know, say, you won't believe what just happened to me, right? In that moment, she wanted to, like, connect with something.
Connect,
and I thought, oh my gosh, we are really living in that time, right? Where we want to feel, and that's one of the things Doug was saying earlier, like, why do these kind of movies, why do people want to see them so badly, and why do they want to go to the theaters to see them? And he was saying something that I think is so true that I had never really thought about, was it's not only being on the big screen, but it's watching it together. In a way, is scarier, and so people want to have that experience. I think.
Connect,
yeah.
Is this film about superstition, or is it about something else?
Well, superstition, I guess I don't have a real clear idea of superstition. I'm not a very superstitious person, so like Friday the 13th, you know, we were talking about it opens on Friday the 13th, which some people have a superstition with, you know, like you were saying, you don't like to, you know, fly on Friday the 13th if you can't help it. Some buildings take away the 13th floor when you're in them, you know, it goes from like 12 to 14. I guess it does have a little bit of superstition in it. For me, the aspect that is way more powerful is the power of the mind, and he's sort of I don't know, a physical manifestation of. Don't you sometimes feel like there is like a creepy like entity in your head, like bolstering up something that's just in your head that's really not productive?
Don't you say cancel, cancel, cancel 3 times if you have like a thought that you really don't want to have?
I mean, I went to therapy to like board the different train, Douglas. Don't go in there like. Yeah,
I think we really do. We all every day have something, you know. I mean, I'll go onto a news feed, and it's like I go, oh, that story, I want to read that story, and then I got the darn story in my mind, and I have to actually be disciplined not to read those stories because they ruin my day.
Yeah, and this, it's like that, but they ruin their existence.
Yeah.
Have you resolved those voices in your head yet?
I have really good medical insurance.
He's pretty healthy. He's a healthy person.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good.